questioning because we've seen Fiora come back, at least Longzhu played it as a possible counterpick to Echo. So this could be a little bit of a premonition of a first pick Echo here for Trace. Now that's going to be banned away.
Yep, not going to happen now. Karma ban against Faker.
So Gangplank is Trace's most played champion this season. So it makes sense to take that out too. And if you hobble Trace, remember Trace is the one who does a way higher percentage of his team's damage than anybody else.
Yeah. So at this point, I mean, does SKT even maybe want him on Maokai? They're banning the Rise away.
I think you want him on a tank for sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard not to. Well, they could take the Graves. They do take the Graves. Okay.
It's going to be a pretty high priority pick, but Nidalee's still available, and Blank will be happy on that. He does have fewer games played on Kindred, but Blank, his #1 champion this season, is the Nidalee. So Maokai and Sivir.
Yep.
We should expect a Trundle to come through here from Jin Air.
Do you think there's maybe a slim chance that Graves might be going top lane for Jin Air?
Always a chance.
With Trace, it's possible.
Always a chance. It has been in Wing's hands mostly as of late, but you can never count that out. Obviously, that was the strategy that did vanquish SK Telecom on their first meeting many months ago.
Very true.
But times have changed. But Lissandra, very high priority pick for both Kuzan and Faker.
I think Trundle's a good pickup as well.
I think Trundle Lissandra is excellent here. They're going to play pretty standard, it would appear.
Yep, Trundle and Lissandra, the pickups. Of course, Trundle will be great at making that Maokai a bit less effective. So 2 picks over to SK Telecom.
So now they've started, now Bang, who always trolls Cloud Templar, has now started to troll Dongjun as well because everybody thinks he looks like new Tarek.
Oh, that's right.
So we've increased the level of meta trolling Korean casters in Champion Select. It's now at a new level.
The only answer is that Dongjun has to cosplay as Tarek sometime.
I think he would have to gain about 30 pounds of muscle in order to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can always wear like padded arm things or something, right?
Padded arm things.
Yeah, to make yourself look like you have big muscles.
You could just say fake muscles, Noah. I think that's the easier way to say what you're saying.
I'm kind of trying to describe what it would be, though. You know, what would the fake muscles be made of? And that's really what the question's all about.
I think everybody knows what a muscle suit is. All right, Lucian. Pilot played 2 games of Lucian against the Afrika Freaks. So we're looking pretty standard here. Poppy in the top lane, no surprise. This is going to be a composition that is as bread and butter as can be in the current meta. You take the Trundle support to force the Maokai to buy a hopefully 3rd item. If Maokai's doing okay in terms of gold, hopefully not 2nd item if you start to teamfight too early and you've been starved. QSS.
So it's their bread and butter, and just like actual bread, it will take forever to get done.
Does bread take forever to get done?
Yeah. If you make bread, it's like 4 to 6 hours. So,
well,
it's about the standard length of a Jin Air game, isn't it?
They better hope it doesn't take forever to get done. Although they can scale pretty well into the late game.
It'll definitely take longer because they don't have the Rise.
The mind games have begun.
Zillion.
The mind games have begun. Now, the reason why SK Telecom is doing this, Doa, is because they're trying to show KT that they can also play Zillion. Remember, we go back to the final match that KT played at the end of the season where they just played Zillion Poppy again.
Right.
And that's like the KT special composition. That's like their pocket comp that only they can play. So if SK Telecom can also show that they are a Zillion threat team, because SKT also banned Zillion in all the games they played against KT the last time they fought.
That's
and
true.
They lost to KT. So this game 1 doesn't really matter if you win or lose. But if you can win this game with Zillion, you can scare KT. And this is a mind game 100% for the draft that SKT hopes to participate in tomorrow.
It's a totally Coma thing to do, too.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, we'll see if Faker can pull off this Zillion. It's a little bit different than what we've seen him play in the past from time to time. But hey, if anyone can do it, it's going to be Faker.
Well,
if Fly can do it, Faker can do it, right?
This is a very similar style of composition, right? Typically, KT likes to run it with a Poppy in the top side. Maokai, I think, is just better than Poppy right now. But still, same philosophy. You have a gap closer, you dive turrets, you have invulnerability with the Alistair ultimate and the Kindred ultimate, and you have the speed from Sivir. Huge, very fast tower dive composition. Can SKT do it? Can they beat KT today?
We'll find out. Jin Air trying to bulldoze their way through the gauntlet. Will SKT stop them? Let's get in game one and find out. And welcome to Summoner's Rift. SK Telecom taking on the Jin Air Greenwings in a battle for survival. Our second match in the gauntlet here on OGN Champions Spring. The winner today takes on KT Rolster for a spot in the finals. It's going to be an interesting day. SK Telecom, even if we go all 5 games, going to play all 5 of those on red side. Jin Air on the blue side. SKT wanted this though, so we'll see what they've got planned.
Yeah, this is not the first time Faker has played Zilean. He has played Zilean twice before, but he hasn't played Zilean this season. So this is 100% mind games for tomorrow. They want to not ban the Zilean and be able to pick it themselves. And Faker, like he has most of this season, playing utility mids and playing around Bang and Blank as the primary carries, whether he's playing Lulu or Karma, or Lysandra, which of course has that assassination threat early, but you really...
And wow, Wolf taking a little bit of damage early on as we look at Faker. They cut a couple stakes out of Wolf there.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting start to this game, and SK Telecom maybe not showing a lot of respect. We'll see how good they are with this Zilean. If they're not good with it and they don't know how to play it as well as KT, they are actually going to give up a lot of information to KT that KT may not care if they have the Zilean, for example. Yeah. So it's a gamble.
It's a calculated risk, but it's the type of thing you want to think about. If you're at this point in the season, you're in a match where you're not really too worried about losing it. And again, it is a best of 5, so if they end up losing this game, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, if you're SKT, you're really confident going into this. You're a huge favorite.
Of course.
So why not? Why not just try something interesting in game number 1 and see what you can do with it?
You know, the mistakes that Africa kind of gave over to Jin Air on Wednesday, those types of things you probably aren't going to see happening from the SKT side.
Yes,
they need to be very patient. Oh, Blank. Wow, gets a little bit slowed down by that pillar. Takes a lot of damage here. And he has to flash. Wow, so they get the summoner out of the jungler early on. They prevent the red buff. So nice little invade by Che and Wing there.
Well, they have the advantage in this lane. Of course, the Lucian against the Sivir Alistar are going to have an advantage when it comes to trading. And Che, they get the push early on alongside Pilot, and then they do the invade. Red to red for Winged. So nice little flash take there, good early aggression around their winning lanes. We see, of course, Kuzan pushing up in the mid lane too. So Jin Air had a lot of comfort picks in this particular game. I like the fact that they've dialed back the Ashe and just prioritized the Lucian for Pilot. He was actually pretty good against the Freaks.
You know, another factor that we haven't talked about is that the pressure's really got to be on for Blank too, because this is kind of his first big playoff match that he's been through. And
I mean, he has been in a major stage with like 10,000 people at an international event.
Yeah,
so.
But did you see the teams he was playing against, though?
That's true. That's true.
I don't think there was a lot of pressure inside the game. Calm like I see him. But
Doa with the harsh truth. You're turning into me, Doa.
It's been like 4 years
careful.
now. It's kind of.
Be careful, Doa. You know what happens when you walk down that road?
Oh, what?
Everybody just accuses you of underselling the Western teams,
and then it's continuously proved wrong over and over again.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. The fans get really mean really fast if you start doing that.
No, it's good. I'm glad there's vocal fans for teams all around the world. You know, even if the Green Bay Packers have no chance of winning the Super Bowl, I tell everybody they're going to. I get that. I get that
Doa,
kind of fandom.
I'm beginning to hate you.
Yeah, but I don't like. I'm not unreasonable about it. I'm just a happy fan. I just have hope.
Yeah, the happy fans are the fine ones.
But if you really ask me, of course I'll say they won't. But you know. But what I'm saying is that I think it's reasonable to expect that Blank is feeling maybe more pressure in this series than he may have at IM. Well, I don't know for sure. I haven't talked to him lately, but I think it's possible.
I think that if SKT clearly puts more emphasis on the domestic results than the IEM results.
Oh, absolutely.
As evidenced by the fact that they put blank in for the entirety of IEM.
Yeah, they didn't even bring Bengi. Like,
which now looks like a smart move, but we didn't really know how that was going to work at the time.
Well, Blank was legitimately looking bad going into IEM. IEM was kind of a big turning point for this guy this season. It's been really good for the most part since then.
It is a tough matchup, though. Winged has been pretty solid this season.
Yeah, very good Graves, at the very least. Chasing Blank across the map now. Oh, accidentally hits the Rift Herald there. I don't know if he wanted to do that. Yeah, we mentioned how great Winged is, by the way. It's
Sometimes you can't help it.
Oops.
He's got to smack a Herald, you know?
That's what happens when a caster talks about a player being good. Then the camera goes and they immediately mess up. It's the circle of life. It's just how nature works.
Is that how nature works, though?
That's exactly how nature works. Ask like Bill Nye, he'll agree with me. Pretty sure.
Yeah, Bill Nye, the nature expert.
Nature guy. Hey, he talked a lot about nature on his show. Didn't you ever watch Bill Nye?
Yeah, I think of him mostly as like physics.
Well, I don't know. Well, well, you can't ask the crocodile. Ask Jeff Corwin. There you go. He's a naturalist. There we go.
Bill Nye, the nature guy. Well, that could be his new show, okay?
I'm sure he enjoys nature. We're due for a new Bill Nye show. Well, so far, a little bit of a CS lead in mid lane for Kuzan, but against Zillion, you'd kind of expect that out of his Lissandra. Things pretty even up in the duo lane duel.
The dual lane?
The dual lane duel. And here's the thing, is that SK Telecom, we've seen them all year long so far, all Season 6 so far. Not generally taking big leads in the early game. In fact, generally they've been behind in the early game for a lot of the season. So it's going to be a little bit quiet, I think. Then it's at that 10, 12, 14-minute mark where SKT really kind of has one big play, and then the snowball starts rolling hard, it seems like, for these guys.
Well, with this composition, though, what you want to do for SK Telecom is wait until you can group up and dive a turret, and that's where you really start to get this explosive momentum.
Right. So we've got a ways to wait.
Yeah, and that's how KT does it. When you're looking at between like 15 and 20 minutes, that's where things really open up for this kind of Zillion composition, where you can start to really just focus down, get 5 people in a lane, and really start to pick up the kills. But you do need mostly levels in order to make that happen, not so much the items, but mostly the levels. And Janair, this is about as standard as it can be, playing the Lissandra in the mid lane. You're going to want to try and TP, pick up kills early on with the burst, and then transition to self-ulting. Blank is sad.
Wah, wah.
Transition to self-ulting once people get enough QSSs in the late game. And, you know, the Trundle, though. Let's talk about this pick, because the Trundle, we talked about it forcing out the QSS from Duke, but when there's a Zillion, you don't necessarily have to do that, because you can simply let the Maokai die and then just resurrect him, and that's it. You don't have to worry about the Trundle ult anymore, so you can actually build Maokai tankier as a result of this. Now, clearly, you're going to still have to deal with the Trundle getting tankier off the Subjugate too, but you do have a bit more flexibility in how you itemize the Maokai and how you use that chrono shift from the Zillion.
Yeah. We'll see. I want to see the crazy dives come in.
Well, they will be coming if SK Telecom plays this properly. You want to use your speed advantage. Blue buff up, Blank and Faker.
They really want one for Faker.
Well,
see
Alistair coming.
Maybe get it. Faker can zone pretty well with the bombs. Throws one in, Wing smites it away. So they keep the blue buff away from Kuzan at least, but Faker doesn't get it.
Janair plays that well. They don't have their duo lane in the lane. They knew they just need to smite it away. If they tried too hard to contest that buff or to hand it off to Kuzan, they were just going to die there. The man advantage. Don't throw away the early game on that. You already denied Faker his blue buff.
And Wing looking to maybe come in for a gank on Faker in the mid lane. And he's got some help. Che is there too.
You can all in him before he actually Yeah, using the speed boost just to get himself out of there. You can all in him if you hit him with the Frozen Tomb and then the Frost Nova, or Ring of Frost rather, whatever it is. Before you can burst him down with the Graves before he has a chance to ult himself. So that's what they're looking for, just fishing for an angle to see if they could get that all in, but they can't find it. Faker playing very cautiously, which is not what we've seen from Faker. He's been playing really way too aggressively and dying a lot recently, so seeing him play further back is unusual given the last few weeks of his performance, which has not been his best.
You know, he goes through like periods of time where he realizes he needs to play safer and then he does it, but then he eventually always goes back to the old style of Faker play where you just go way too far up in lane, you're way too aggressive, you die a lot like you said, but I feel like at least with the Zillion's one of those picks that's going to like make you play safer, even if you are Faker.
I would have thought that about Karma too, but that wasn't the case, Stella, so he definitely got caught out quite a few times.
See, the issue
playing
is,
overly aggressive on Karma.
The issue is Karma's got a skill shot that you always want to hit people with, and so the temptation.
What, you have bombs that you could stun people with on Zillion.
It feels different though, to like lob a bomb, then to like shoot a skill shot forward. I feel like we're getting into like Faker's psyche here.
Well, like, you tell us all about that, Noah.
I will, okay? So when he throws a bomb, it doesn't make him as aggressive. He's like, it's just kind of a casual lobbing of the skill shot rather than running up and shooting it forward, you know? Wolf and Bang getting shot away from the lane.
Really conservative play. A lot of emphasis on counter jungling from both of these teams. Trace on the roam right now, seeing if he can find something. Blank is going to get seen by a pink ward. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Trace comes in onto Blank. That's going to be a little bit of damage, but no real follow-up opportunities. Nobody else around for Jin Air to take advantage of that.
Yeah, wards in the jungle, so they knew that Wing wasn't going to be coming up to supplement that gank, and they don't go for it. Blank instead is going to start taking away the dragon right now. Zillion bomb down onto Wings, not the second one.
SKT's had some good dragon control in the early game, and nearly gets it with the collateral damage. Blank in trouble though. That's going to be almost First Blood. Faker brings him back. Can they actually save him? Now Blank in trouble again. First Blood does go over to Trace. Now they're looking for a kill onto Duke. They will get it. So 1 for 2. Meanwhile, Wolf dueling 1v2 up in the top lane. Bang coming down now. Teleport coming in for SK Telecom. Faker's going to join the party. Gets a bomb onto Pilot. Faker actually flashed the wall. He's going after him. Okay, Faker's getting a bit aggressive now, isn't he?
Well, he thought he could get the stun. Unfortunately, he couldn't. The bomb exploded before he could get it. Now they're on the retreat. Wolf is low. Duke is dead.
Trace.
He's got 8 seconds.
Wolf in a lot of trouble. Trace just going to pick up an easy kill there. So I think SKT overextending. Now Kuzan coming in. Throws in the E. Going to try to chase Bang. Bang with the spell shield. Waits for it to run out. And there goes Sivir. Another kill coming in for Jin Air. Pilot picking that one up, and that series of events did not go well for SK Telecom.
No, and this is the composition they should be diving with, but Faker should not, absolutely not have flashed that wall to go after Pilot under the lane. Yeah. Pilot flashed after the bomb landed, and he sees it. So this is the misplay right here. First off, Wolf is going to get out of this one, so they could have actually just set up a siege right here, tried to do something, zone him out, but Faker flashing over the wall, not hitting the stun.
What is he doing?
He can't do anything. His bombs are down. Like, that's it. There's nothing more. And they totally disrespect the fact that this teleport is up. And remember, Lyssandra's going to come up before Maokai will. Yeah. So the double TP is going to be there for Jin Air a few seconds before Duke has the chance to come back up. Bang has to pop that spell shield, but Kuzan will just flash after him with the Ring of Frost, and good read by Winged. He's up there on the top side, and now we're up to a 2,000 gold lead. And SKT may not be showing that they're great at playing the Zillion like KT is.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to end up succeeding in making KT worried about the Zillion pick. I don't know what Faker was thinking there. I mean, yeah, he was trying to get the stun with the bomb, but that was way too risky.
It's a pick that you have to play around as a team. Like, it is a good pick, but it's not something that you can just style on people with, right? You have to know how to play it, and your team has to know how to play around it. And that's very key to using this particular Zillion, especially with a composition like this.
Yeah, you can't really be a solo queue superstar on Zillion, and Faker's going to be pretty much dead again. Going to bring himself back to life for the moment. Okay, he's actually going to be okay.
Yeah, he actually got that off.
Unless he walks right back into Wing. I don't know. There's a bomb coming down. Luckily, Wolf and Duke are there to save him.
Yeah, they don't actually go too far right there. Faker does manage to sneak in the Chrono Shift on himself to stay alive.
Yep.
Except a little bit more farm, and they are going to fall back for the Rift Herald right now. Looks like strategy for SK Telecom will be to push out the bot wave with the Rift Herald once it comes up. We'll see who it goes. Should go to Blank. And then Blank should take a couple more camps while he's waiting for the lane to push up in bottom side, and then they can make a play on the tier 1. So we'll see if they decide to dive this. This could be a big play for SK Telecom after they grab a few more camps out of the jungle. Duke and Trace now going head-to-head in that top side.
Well, SK Telecom is a little bit behind, but they're certainly not too far behind yet. They can catch up as long as they play things a little bit safer. But we'll have to see how this push in the bottom lane goes.
Only about 1,500 gold back. So SKT, they should push out the mid lane right now and see if they can get the dive they're looking for onto the bottom side of the map. Kuzan without the TP, so Faker, if he can push up the wave, can just roam down into that side. Kindred, it's like they're just going to go for some more camps, though. No actual pressure as the minion wave dissolves in front of that turret.
Yeah. Huh. All right. Well, Jenner will keep the lead for a little while longer then. Trace already looking very good on that Poppy, as one might expect him to. Okay, here we go. Now SKT trying to put some pressure on the bot lane. It's a 2v3 though. Blank coming down.
They're not vision for the moment.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to really push that bottom tier 1 very hard.
So they're going to have a small timing window. Kuzan has his TP down. Faker's is about to come back up. So they do have a double TP advantage for the next 15 seconds or so.
Right.
They could use it.
But Dragon up in about a minute 20 as well. See if SK Telecom wants to try to prioritize taking those two. Probably not a bad idea.
Okay, they have one TP advantage now. Trace still going to be a threat, and Siver's going to go back. Right now, Bang is about 1,800 gold, so wants to pick up his Essence Reaver.
It just, yeah, it really doesn't seem like they're going to use that little teleport advantage.
I think they should.
I wouldn't be
I think that was one of their stronger points in their games against KT, was using those TP advantage as well.
Looks like they probably want to prioritize Dragon.
Do have an opportunity to fight around that if they so choose.
Yep, Bang just CSing away. Catching up in that department with Pilot. And Kuzan and the rest of Janair will be ready if they want to try to contest this Dragon. It's up in about 20 seconds.
Wing doing the right thing. Just pushing the way forward right now, maintaining control over the river while Kuzan comes back. And that means that none of their wards are really going to get cleared out very actively.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they can do. They are lurking in the brush right now. Pink ward goes down. And Janair just really doing a great job of controlling vision this game.
Oh, Dragon started by SK Telecom. Che is there though. Trying to be annoying on that Trundle. SKT has to back up into the choke just a little bit. And Janair's got a good angle on this Dragon now. And SKT, they may just go ahead and go for mid lane turret. We'll see.
Could turn on it right here, try and even up the gold score a little bit.
Doesn't look like they will. Nope, Dragon gonna go over to Janair. SK Telecom going to the mid lane. They do want to try to do some damage to that mid lane turret. Don't think they can take it though. No, they're not really getting anything out of this. That's a bit awkward.
Yeah, Janair is doing a great job playing defensively, though. They're preventing a lot of these dives by controlling vision with the pinks. Look at the pinks in both of the tri-brushes on opposite side of the map right there. Very hard to get some wards into dive. They do have one in that bottom lane right by the Krugs that they could use to TP in onto. They're not going to be so bold yet. Obviously not confident enough in their strength at this juncture with the stacking Rod of Ages, but it's getting close to the time. SKT really, it's not imperative that they execute because both of these teams are going to scale about evenly into the late game. Maybe you give a little bit of an edge to Sivir just because she is so strong at hitting the back line with her ricochet after attacking the front line.
I suppose that's true. And Bang could make the big difference in team fights later on. We'll see though. I think it's going to be, they're going to need to really be worried about teleport flanks from Trace, aren't they? I mean, that Poppy's already getting a little bit scary.
I mean, both sides going to have to be very worried about teleport flanks.
Yeah.
Both of these compositions play almost identically. You have a zoning mid laner in the late game with 2 AD carries, a tanky support, and a tanky top laner. So,
do you feel like that makes it easier for one side to snowball?
It could, depending on if you get whichever player gets the better flank, right? You start taking out some of these damage dealers, and it gives you a lot more success for rolling up the fight afterwards. Blank and Bang, Winged, and Pilot going to have to be super careful, but in a way, SK Telecom does have an extra life with that Chrono Shift and the Lamb's Respite. They have more ways to fix any positional errors that they may make, as opposed to Jin Air, which doesn't have that same luxury.
Yeah. Wolf just forlornly walking around the Baron pit, wondering wherefore art thou, Baron, or Dragon, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Wherefore art thou, Dragon?
Wherefore art thou, Dragon?
Quote William Shakespeare.
I thought I was quoting Game of Thrones. I think there was an entire season where one character only had that line.
Yeah, and it was bad actress, so it's not even delivered well.
Yeah, it wasn't even Old English. He was more like, my dragons!
That was far too much emotion for that actress, Stella. She's definitely the worst actress in Game of Thrones. Holy moly.
Well, don't say that around her, because she will roast you with her dragons. Or
she'll bore me to death.
Or tie you up
with her monotone delivery.
That's also a possible thing, too, yeah. I don't know how Tyrion's going to survive. Well, a little bit of pressure on the top lane. SKT trying to defend that. Whoa, Duke goes in onto Winged. SKT wants to fight it. Trace has the ult popped. Going to keep Blank away at least a little bit. SKT not able to fight. Meanwhile, Faker putting some pressure on the mid.
Well, nothing really happened right there. A couple ults used,
so.
Nobody committing summoner spells or teleports.
I got so excited.
I'm sorry, Doa.
Where are my dragons? Oh, well. The wait continues. The gold lead, though, for Jin Air hasn't really changed in the last 10 minutes or so. It's been about 2K for a long time.
Gold lead is not going to matter too much this game. I mean,
not a lot.
You're talking about 1 or 2,000 difference, since both these team compositions are approximately the same in scaling, approximately the same in playstyle. Faker going to miss a couple bombs right there onto Winged.
I mean, since that one misstep in the top lane, though, things have been even. And like you mentioned, too, that amount of gold is not going to make a huge difference between these two teams. Pilot running from the Krug. But the Krug does not want to chase him. It just wants to live in peace.
Wants to give it to Winged?
No, it just wants to live in its little Krug den and be left alone.
Is that what Krugs want?
To be left alone, yep. The aspiration of any great Krug.
Why do they keep rolling out of that Krug hole then?
I don't know, because they're curious about the outside world,
But they want to be left alone.
They're kind of like hobbits, right? They like to be left alone, but they're kind of curious about what's going on out there.
You think they go back in after they died a few times?
The only problem is they don't have any fingers to put rings on. So they're not really like hobbits in that regard.
It's probably good, keeps them out of trouble.
That's true, yeah. It's not a bad thing. You're wearing around its neck, I guess. The Lord of the Krugs. Well, Faker just farming in the bot lane now for the moment.
Like you do.
Like you do. 1 minute until Dragon. No doubt that's going to be a point of contention between these two teams.
Will it?
Probably. A little bit, yeah.
We'll see.
I think so.
Both teams have 1 dragon. Nobody going to throw the game away on this one.
A little bit of contention. I said contention, not conflict.
Okay.
Might not. There's a big difference. Contention's like, oh, he's taking the dragon. I don't like that. Conflict is like, we must fight them for this dragon. There's a difference.
I don't know. Cold War was a conflict. Nothing happened.
Yeah, but
I think this is the Dragon Cold War. You just stare at each other and look menacing.
Could be. We need like a. You're saying we need like a Iron Curtain Anivia or something like that? We have American Anivia.
Iron Curtain Victor.
That's true. No, we need a character that can have a wall, or at least a curtain.
I see.
That's where I'm going with this. She puts out an iron curtain instead of a wall. A vice. All right, well, Dragon's up. A point of contention between these teams.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think we
Everybody
might see
in
a
a brush.
teleport. Whoa, all right, on to Winged. Wing gets knocked back with a headbutt. Nice pick for SK Telecom. That even turned into a little bit of a point of conflict there, didn't it?
Kuzan just jetting out of base right there. He's
Yeah.
no longer interested in teleporting in for obvious reasons.
Yeah, SKT takes the second dragon. And
That's rough. They only had one blue trinket and it was down.
Yeah.
That probably should have been remedied at 25 minutes. You probably should have a couple of those like SK Telecom has, and then you don't have to face check a brush. But nice flash there from Wolf. Picks up the kill, picks up the objective.
Yep.
Gets more pressure on the map too. Kuzan now leading the wave at the bottom side, so Faker gonna chuck some clocks down, but
It's like an angry Flava Flav.
clock chucking.
I think when Flava Flav gets angry, that's the first thing he throws at people probably.
Why don't they make a Captain Hook Gangplank skin that gets really mad at Zillion?
Could be. Well, I think then you would have to make a Renekton skin with the clock on it.
I'm all in favor of this, Doa.
Yeah, it's great.
It's the ticking Renekton skin. It's got a clock inside of it.
I think it's a great idea. Another great skin idea from Doan Mining Chris. It's been a little while. It's a good duo. All right. Tension
Nope.
does not exist in this game right now.
The most exciting thing that happened in this game was the champ select where Faker picks Zillion to mind game KT.
Oh, I don't know. I think when Faker decided to go unreasonably deep in top lane and die, that was kind of exciting too. Not for the right reason, but it was exciting. Janair trying to take their second turret of the game here.
Then here comes Sivir to wave clear Doa. Oh boy.
Yeah, but can she clear both lanes? I don't know. I feel like Janair's going to get either top or mid.
Nope. They have enough wave clear. They're fine.
At some point in this game. Oh, Jay actually taking a lot of damage. Has to flash away. Culling trying to save him, but no. Kindred comes in. Blank picks up the kill. Winged trying to get back to his team. Back under turret. Trace just goes ahead and knocks away Wolf. But SKT with the pressure now. They're finding these picks. They're making these little plays that are starting to give them the edge, even though they're down in gold. It might not be for much longer, though.
Yeah, Janair on their way to just face checking to a loss right here.
Yeah.
Second time. Crucial picks for SK Telecom are slowly chipping away at the gold lead that Janair has accrued. It's not a lot, but it's making a difference. And now 2-1 in terms of turrets for SK Telecom.
Pretty much. Faker giving out some experience. Man, if you could pick anyone in League of Legends to get experience from, I would pick Faker. That's for sure. Janair gets that mid lane turret after all, but...
Yeah, just a quick reversal from Janair. Not cowed by the aggression in the mid lane. They realize that they still have a lot of strength right there, counter pushing immediately. So it's just a kill, really, that goes over to SKT in the end. Is everything equalized by the Janair Greenwings.
Faker and Bang with a little bit of gold to spend, but they might wait a little bit.
More clocks.
Oh yeah. Are those really clocks though? They're kind of just like clockwork bombs. They don't really tell the time.
They have clocks. Well, they tell some sort of time. They tell the time until they detonate.
Yeah, but you don't need to have a clock to have a timer.
That's true.
It might not be a clock.
He throws clocks though.
Kind of weird looking clocks. I mean, I just don't know why you'd carry a big clock around your back. Like, Zillion's the champion equivalent of the Rift Herald, where he has just like weird large thing on his back that he doesn't really need. It seems more inconvenient than good. You know? I mean, Zillion's an old man. That's got to be a heavy clock.
He does fly around with magic.
I guess. But it's still got to weigh on you, you know? Unless it's an anti-gravity clock. Rift Herald's got that big eye on his back. He doesn't really need. All he does is get hit in it.
All it is a weak point.
Yeah, exactly.
He stares at the sun or he gets hit in it.
I'm telling you, it's like those bosses in the old Nintendo games that just like randomly during a fight, they open up a door and expose their brains. SKT teleporting in. They want to go in for this. Nice engage by Wolf. Doesn't get the headbutt onto Pilot though, but they do get a lot of damage onto Che. That's another kill onto that Trundle. And SKT again finding another pick.
Jay keeps using that subjugate, but there's not really anybody tanky for him to get stats from.
Yeah,
So
Dukes
it's
is
not
around.
actually, without Duke there, he's easy pickings.
Pretty much.
You see the QSS already there for Pilot.
SKT turning right around towards this Baron. Standing in a ward.
They can try and do it, but they're really just going to try and bait this.
Yeah, I think, yeah, Jin Air just checks out the Baron pit. They know what's up. 1 minute until Dragon comes up again, so that's something to think about as well.
And Jin Air still only has 1 blue trinket. I really think this is a problem for them this game. They have to switch off to another blue trinket at some stage. I know they want to split push with their 2 teleport champions, which is why they want to have the 2 yellow trinkets on them, but it actually is costing them when it comes to contesting vision, and SK Telecom's realized that. They're playing around the blue trinket cooldown timer of Jin Air, and they're getting all these picks. They're getting rewarded quite heavily as a result.
Yeah. It's starting to go kind of rough for Jin Air. The funny thing is that it looks like SK Telecom is in the lead, but they're not. They're actually down a little bit in gold, but they certainly do have the momentum right now. They seem to be kind of outplaying Jin Air despite having a little bit less in the money department.
The last few kills have all been there, and they've been making a catch-up.
Yep.
Duke now returning into the top side. Dragon up once again, but Faker already has recalled. Zips out of base to try and get there in time. Lots of pink wards on the side of SK Telecom to place around this Dragon.
Zillion can get back pretty fast, so I don't think they're too worried about that. He's already back. Jin Air doesn't want to go after the Dragon, so it's just going to reset. Duke recalling, so I think we could see a teleport, but where would he TP to? They've got a couple wards behind. There we go, teleporting in at the Raptor pit. Already, SK Telecom, they want this Dragon. Yeah, Kuzan right there. Trace doesn't hit anybody with the ultimate.
SKT doesn't know where Kuzan is right now.
That's the tricky part. Jin Air's going to go in onto the Dragon. SKT wants to fight this, it looks like. Being aggressive. All right, Trace an ultimate. SK Telecom takes the Dragon. Blank able to smite that one away. Jin Air chasing. Duke not taking too much damage yet. Jay used his ultimate, but they still couldn't burst down Duke.
Yeah, it's huge actually, because now they can actually disengage at the
Whoa,
moment.
hello Trace. Wow, that was a bit aggressive. Trace in a little bit of trouble now, but Kuzan comes in with the big W, the big self-out. Kindred, though, pops that Lamb's Respite to keep SK Telecom alive. Not enough, though, as Blank goes down. SK Telecom turning it, though. There's a triple kill for Bang, and he's going to go for more. Winged in trouble now, too. Can't quite get him the Quadra, but they will get the team fight win. And that's certainly going to be a Baron for SK Telecom.
Yeah, they still got 4 members up, and Duke, he's not going to have that TP to get in there, but they're still going to be confident about doing this, and that's the danger, right? Bang has been excellent all season, and you have to be very cautious around that engage. A little bit disjointed. That's been an issue for Jin Air in the later half of the season, is they don't engage as a group well. And Trace tries to get in there. He takes a little bit too much damage up front. The Trundle ult was already down when that fight started. Even though Kuzan gets an excellent self-ult there, it just isn't enough. So you see Trace going to come in, gets bounced around a little bit, and he's also already nearly dead. Kuzan, great ultimate by them to set this up. Winged, though, is going to be exhausted immediately by Wolf. They only drop Wolf out of this fight, so a lot of people get that heal from the Kindred ultimate. And at this point in time, you can see Bang just absolutely going nuts on everybody in that fight.
Jin Air's a little bit lucky there that Bang didn't just pentakill him. It was very close. But now, SK Telecom with the Baron buff. They've got the edge. They've jumped out to about a 2,000 gold lead themselves for the first time in this game. Hello, Faker.
Faker going with a really late tier. Went Rod, Borello, Namicon into Archangel staff.
Yeah.
Not sure I really like this build. Fly tends to only build Rod of Ages and not both Rod and tier. So, you can build Abyssal, you can build Death Cap if you want. Faker going for a little bit tankier route once he gets that Seraph's Embrace up.
I suppose. Well, Duke just split pushing a little bit in the bottom lane.
Just takes so long to come online.
Yeah.
But usually that is KT also snowballs the game faster with this style of composition.
Might not matter too much. He's already helped them get a little bit ahead. Bang pops the ultimate. Looks like they're just trying to chase people away. Whoa! Goodbye.
Faker TP'd in for that.
Gave it a shot anyway. They got the tier 2 turret. SK Telecom, though, putting the pressure on. They're going to fight. There's a knock up onto Trace as Wolf goes in. Bang having to back away quickly, though. Gets down to about a third health. Needs to be careful.
Nah, he's got chrono shift. He's fine.
Should still be a little bit careful.
Faker's got him.
SK Telecom, though, doesn't need to really take this inhibitor right now. They can just rotate to the mid lane and keep pushing everything.
SKT has so many ways to win this game right now. They're already on 3 Dragon stacks. They have now a pretty healthy gold lead. Not enough to not be worried about what Jin Air can do, but they don't have to take any risks. Continue to play around the Dragon for the rest of the game. Continue to play around the Baron. They don't have a great siege composition. They pretty much have to dive. Lower range on Sivir does make taking some of these objectives a little bit difficult. Faker is sad because he did not get the blue buff.
Well, I don't know if they, if KT is really necessarily going to be impressed by Faker's Zillion, but they can theoretically win with it, I guess.
I'm not really any more worried about Faker's Zillion than I would be about his Lulu or his Karma. He's going to play in a similar way, except maybe a little bit worse.
Well,
He uses QSS right there.
How's it rate compared to his Xerath? That's the real question.
Much better.
Looks that way. SKT takes that second tier 2. The mid lane. Dragging back up in about a minute 45. Something to think about anyway. SKT has upped their gold lead by almost about 1,000 a minute in the last 4 or 5 minutes. The snowball's real.
Well, they can't actually crack the base, though. That's the main problem. The wave clear just too good there from Jin Air. And if they dive, I mean, diving into a Trundle Pillar and a Poppy ult and Alessandra ult, not great for them if they're grouped up as 5. SK Telecom can dive very well, but they wanted to do that more in the early game where they had a man advantage or something like that. They can execute very rapid dives.
Seems like SK Telecom can just kind of play this one out slowly, though, and go for 5 dragons themselves.
Exactly. That's exactly what they should do. They should not be taking any risks. Too much crowd control underneath the turret if both teams are all grouped up.
Yeah.
Play around the Dragon instead.
If anything's going to help them crack the base, it's going to be a team fight win it at Dragon.
Well, nobody has to. Jin Air does not have to contest this right now, and I would be surprised if they did.
I mean, they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, so right? Because if they don't contest the Baron, then the 5th Dragon will help SKT break the base.
Well, they have to contest Dragon number 5. They don't necessarily. They can try and wait for their opponents to make an error right here, push out the waves, and try and contest the Baron themselves. So I think you just let this go.
We'll see what the plan is. Trace and Duke, just a gentleman's farming game. Letting each other just get the CS. Why not? SKT, though, a lot of wards in the enemy jungle right now. They've certainly got the map control.
It's those picks and the superior vision control that allowed them to even get back into this game in the first place.
And there's going to be an easy 4th dragon for SKT. He's going to pick that one up with no trouble at all. And that's about it for the next 6 minutes now.
Nope. There's a Baron in a minute and a half.
Oh, you're right. Oh, blue buff is roller skating.
And now our watch begins.
Oh, we got it.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for Faker, his watch is always around.
I miss watch. He's been banished to the LSBL now.
It's true. I thought you were talking about the Knight's watch from Game of Thrones. Now his watch begins. See, they need a Night Watch Zillion skin, where he just dresses in black.
Called Night Watch.
That's right. And he looks at his wrist and says, "Now my watch begins."
Foolproof. Foolproof from copyright infringement.
Great. No one's ever going to connect that with any other popular series that may or may not be on cable television.
Premium cable television, though.
Right. Hard to find on the internet.
Super difficult to hear.
Really hard.
Virtually impossible.
It's
Don't even try.
Yeah. You're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen.
Well, they're looking for picks right now, thoroughly outwarding their opponents.
I think from now on, when I buy a new watch, when you turn it on for the first time or whatever, I'm going to say, and now my watch begins.
I'm sorry.
Every time.
You are never going to buy a new watch, duh.
I might get like a nice one, you know, to have for nice occasions someday. You know, sometimes you're a fancy guy. You know, sometimes you have to be kind of fancy and wear a watch.
I don't even own a watch.
Oh, well, I guess you don't. Trace got the Guardian Angel. Still flashes out of that one, though. Doesn't want to use that item just yet. Here comes a flank, though. Duke coming from the side. Gets wrapped up by Wing just a little bit. Duke, though, chasing Winged away now. Trying to get back to his team. Faker, though, there with the bombs. The zoning bombs.
Oh, boy. Well, they got to teleport out of Kuzan. That's actually pretty crucial for how they can split push right now, so they will have a window of opportunity to do something with. They also got Trace's flash while they didn't use any summoners of their own, so it's sort of death by attrition here.
Hey, here comes Duke onto Trace. Jumps right onto Pilot, though. Pilot cleansing his way out of that one. Duke just backing away casually again.
Finds the Trundle ultimate.
Yeah, that's right. Important thing to do if you're playing that Maokai, obviously.
This is actually really good for SKT. They should actually try and start and bait this Baron right now, because without the Trundle ultimate, they're going to have a huge advantage from the support position, because Alistar ult is still up.
Yeah.
They should definitely do this.
All right. Baron being taken by SK Telecom. Here comes Jinair to try to stop it. Wolf, Faker, everybody's zoning. There's an easy Baron for SKT. Teleport coming in, though, for Jinair anyway. Trace, though, a little bit late to the party. Now Kuzan goes in, self-ults, pops a W a little bit before that. Bang trying to back away. Trace tried to make a play there, but he got out of it really fast. Trace just knocking back Faker, but that's a person you're least worried about probably as far as sustained damage goes. Winged trying to go after Faker now as he teleports back into the fight, but it's going to be a one fight for SK Telecom. Pilot slowed down. There's Bang flashing.
Here we go.
He wants it. Whoa! That was close. But it worked.
The slow followed by the speed up onto Bang as Faker TPs back into that fight.
Trace comes over the wall trying to get the kill on the Bang, and he does it well. Che actually comes in to get the killing blow, but there's Faker throwing the bombs. He came to drop bombs. Trace, though, doing the old 1v4. Not the greatest thing. He's got the Guardian Angel. We're just going to let him go. Like, all right, yeah. You're right. You're right, Trace. It's too much work to kill you. We will kill your base instead. Kuzan back in about 15 seconds. I don't know if SKT can end it right here.
No, they got to get out.
Yeah, it's a little bit too risky, isn't it?
Besides, you got a dragon coming up in a minute and a half. Why take the risk?
Yeah, it's your 5th dragon, too.
Pull back. Do your thing. Take the dragon, take dragon number 5, close this game out as seamlessly as you can.
Why not?
Exactly. Well, that was actually really well done by SK Telecom. They knew once the Trundle ult was down, they still had Alistar ult up. Che was not going to be very tanky after that. They didn't have to worry about Duke getting shredded in the front line, even because he used his QSS earlier on. Everything was going to look good for their tankiness. They had more of it, more of the tankiness. And this Zilean, quite useful, although he did chrono shift himself as he dove a turret, but it's really just about the support ults right here. And the Baron buff that was already acquired. Kuzan, another good ultimate, tries to get in there, Bang with the QSS immediately, backs off. Trundle Pillar, not going to do a lot of favors actually for Jinair as SK Telecom kites out of that, and then is going to just re-engage right here. TP in from Faker, intercepts Wing, gets the double bomb for the stun, and start juking a bunch of skill shots, gets the slow down onto Pilot, and then the speed up here onto Bang. Bzz.
He's fast.
He is, and he is also furious.
But not too fast, too furious. You don't want to go too far. Yeah. So let me get this straight. We have a character that bites people and hits them with clubs, but Graves can't have a cigar.
Yeah.
We have a character that literally does nothing but throw bombs at other people.
Yeah.
Graves, no, cigars are too
Time
dangerous.
bombs.
Too much for the kids. Trace, getting in the back line, and that's going to be a dead Poppy as soon as he comes back from the Guardian Angel. Not a very good Guardian Angel, really. Duke comes in from behind just to slow up the rest of Jinair, trying to let SKT catch up for the rest of this team fight. Kuzan in the middle of everything again, doesn't even get the good engage this time around.
Didn't even get to ult. He died in the chain CC afterward, used his Sonya's Hourglass first, and then right afterwards, SK Telecom responds with
hi, Trace.
Instant chain crowd control. And that's it, and now Trace is a very slow Yordle.
Yeah, and SKT just going after that dragon. They're going to pick up their 5th. Collateral damage attempted by Wing, but he can't use the ultimate to pick that one up. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, Wolf. Faker just gets the kill anyway.
Wolf got that kill.
Oh, he did. Oh, you're right.
Exactly sure. I have
How
to
did
see
he
it
get that
again.
kill?
I don't know how he got it.
He
I
was
guess he got it from the dragon burn, perhaps.
Yeah, it must have been. Because he was a long way away when when Trace died. Huh. All right. Well, this should be, more or less the end of the game now. As SK Telecom rides the super minion wave into the base. Kuzan should come back up. Trace has got a little bit of time left. Duke is low-ish. He's also Maokai. Flash engaged. Nice pulverized headbutt combo winged. Knocked to his doom, and that is going to definitely be the end of the game. Kuzan coming up. Duke just going to the back lines. Kuzan might be able to make something happen here, but I don't think he can do it fast enough as SKT, Faker, and Duke just zoning while the Nexus dies, and SKT takes game 1.